Russia's invasion of Ukraine has thrust the steel-forged Donbas region into sharp global focus as a critical battleground. Its significance goes beyond mere geography or industrial output. It lies at the heart of national identity, economic stability, and geopolitical fault lines. The Donbas, ever since the dissolution of the Soviet Union, has remained a heavily industrialized region built upon iron, coal, and steel. These industries were the lifeblood of Soviet power, both symbolically and materially, and thus, this territory has never shed its status as a symbol of might. Fast forward to today, and that legacy makes the Donbas not just a province, but a prize. The video outlines how this relevance extends beyond steel mills. Control over the Donbas means controlling Ukraine's industrial backbone. It's the heartland where raw materials and heavy manufacturing coalesce, albeit now battered by shelling, sanctions, and the human cost of war. Ukraine and Russia both see the region as a keystone. For Ukraine, it's a region to reclaim, both for economic recovery and sovereignty. For Russia, holding or negotiating over it becomes leverage, both militarily and politically. Recent remarks from former U.S. President Trump amplify the tension, signaling that the onus of conceding territory to end the war lies squarely with Ukraine's President Zelenskyy. Trump has publicly framed the matter as Zelenskyy needing to agree to cede parts of Donbas to facilitate peace. This external pressure places immense strain on Ukrainian leadership, walking the tightrope between preserving national sovereignty and charting a plausible exit from a brutal conflict. Trump's positioning, especially his emphasis on Ukraine yielding territory, underscores how international voices shape trajectories on the ground, even when those voices are polarizing. Driving deeper into the matter, the Donbas isn't merely industrial, it's deeply woven into Ukraine's cultural tapestry. Working-class pride, intertwined with industry, has made local loyalties complex and sometimes conflicting. Russian narratives have played on these fissures, casting the region as culturally aligned with Moscow, especially in moments of international negotiation. Economically, even as machinery and factories become war's collateral, the Donbas's infrastructure remains a pillar in any long-term recovery plan. Natural resources, transport hubs, and employment centers all point toward post-war rebuilding. Loss of the region could derail national fiscal planning, shrink GDP, and create a humanitarian crisis of thousands unemployed overnight, far beyond a simple land dispute. The video also touches upon a broader truth: conflicts are not static. Boundaries drawn today may be reopened tomorrow. Morally, Ukrainians argue that acceptance of territorial loss, especially under duress, sets a dangerous precedent. Who draws the line afterward? If international endorsements of such concessions are verified through remarks like Trump's, they muddy established norms about sovereignty, deterrence, and self-determination. Despite the bleak backdrop, hope remains in international support pouring in, diplomatic, military, and humanitarian. Donors and allies continue to give Ukraine options beyond painful cessions. Negotiations remain open, fueled by global consensus that territorial conquest should not be rewarded. Still, Putin's ambitions, Russia's military positions, and rising geopolitical fatigue among allies all weigh heavily on these efforts. Ultimately, the Donbas is not simply land or steel. In the video's narrative and beyond, it stands as a crossroads, between history and future, sovereignty and survival, pride and pragmatism. It illustrates how war can fracture not just a country's geography but its identity. How far Ukraine will go, militarily or diplomatically, to hold or regain Donbas will reverberate far beyond the field of battle. Whether peace comes with borders intact or altered realities remains the central question. What's clear is that Donbas, in its smokestacks and scarred cities, maps much more than territory. It maps the will of a nation.